Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Clear Politics Takeaway for Tuesday, May 18th. I'm Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of RCP.
I'm Carl Cannon, Washington Bureau Chief. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Mr. Cannon. What's on your mind?
Well, you were going to tell me something about Andrew Cuomo's book deal that I didn't know. Why don't you tell our listeners?
$5.1 million is what he got for that book, Carl. $5.1 million. It's a big number.
I'm one of the few people who read it, and I just would say I didn't write a review about it. It wasn't very good, but I just don't think it was worth $5 million.
Well, apparently he enlisted staffers to help him write it and research it and all of that good stuff. It works out to about, I think, $465 per nursing home victim killed that he was responsible for, I think, if you do the math that way, Carl.
Well, I just, it's fitting in a way we learned this today. This is the anniversary of Ivan Boesky's infamous speech at the UC Berkeley School of Business, in which he told these people that greed was healthy. It's okay to be greedy. Later immortalized by Michael Douglas in Wall Street, saying greed is good. Well, every religion I know of in the world, every philosophy I respect teaches that greed is actually not good. But Andrew Cuomo's living proof that there's still greed in the American political system.
Let's talk, Carl, about the CDC guidelines. We're supposed to be, if you're fully vaccinated, you are mask-free with a few exceptions like airplanes and hospitals and things of that nature. But you are allowed to be, mask-free. Kids under 12 still have to be masked. They still have to wear masks to school, which is a little nutty. And it's created all sorts of, first of all, the rollout, the CDC sort of surprised everybody with this. I mean, Walensky, the CDC director, was testifying before Congress on Tuesday of last week saying, listen, you still need to be wearing masks. And apparently there was reporting she had even decided at that point that they were going to change the mask guidance. It's been a few days, Carl. I'm still seeing most of the folks in my neighborhood. I live in a very liberal neighborhood. Doesn't seem that different to me. Everybody's still pretty much proceeding, as they were before the mask guidance was taking place, which I assume in red states and red communities that folks have already been not wearing their masks for some time and are continuing that way as well.
Well, let's leave the politics out of it for a moment. I know that's hard because we are we're Real Clear Politics, and that's what we do. But I don't know that it's nutty for children to have to wear masks to school, Tom. That I have a very close friend whose 15-year-old daughter got COVID at school, and she's very sick. I don't think we're over this yet. And the CDC did its thing, and it doesn't mean businesses can't require people to wear masks. And I think most of the restaurants in my area and most of the stores and shops, the whole service economy, they want people to wear masks when they're just coming in or walking around. Because, people are still dying, 500-600 a day in this country alone. And is there going to be another strain that comes up that because we have so much vaccine resistance? I don't think we're through it yet, which raises the question, why did the CDC do this? Some people think there was political pressure. The White House did this as a political thing and leaned on the CDC. Now, we don't know that for sure, but we do know that the White House, facilitated the teachers unions, Randy Weingarten, to talking to the CDC and helping them make their decision, not just their messaging, their calls about teachers in schools. And we know that the CDC decision surprised even people, all the Democratic governors, all the governors, and even people inside the White House. So it seems that there was political pressure here. And, this agency, the CDC, has been now pressured by two successive administrations. And so I don't think American people have a lot of confidence in what they say.
All right, Carl. So if we're not fully through this, right? I mean, there are always going to be variants. The idea of this was never to be, we got to get to zero cases. We got to get to zero deaths. We have to get to, no variants. So at what point what's the magic number? Is it 70%, vaccination across the country? What if we don't get to that point? I mean, what would your marker be for when we would go back to life as normal? Or is it the case that you believe, as some others have made the case, look, there is no going back to life as normal. We will have masks as part of our daily routine. There's this piece running on Real Clear Politics this very morning from 2 doctors making that argument that we need to have masks as part of our daily routine from this point moving forward. And there are certainly some people who support that idea. But if not, what's the magic number?
I don't know, Tom, and I don't know if it's infection rates. It may be deaths. If you're losing 500 people a day in a country, even a country as large as ours, you're not over this. Will we just accept that when it starts hitting younger people and kids? I don't think so. That mask thing's interesting, Tom. If you've ever traveled abroad, some places, Tokyo comes to mind, densely populated areas. Some people wear masks whenever they go on a subway, or not all the time, but when they're in a crowded people. And this was before COVID. They don't want to get flu. They don't want to get the common cold. I think vaccines are the answer. China. Pardon?
I said pollution in places like China.
Yeah,
is one of the reasons they wear masks.
Yeah, air pollution. That's right. So I don't think it's going to be like it's been for the last 14 months. But masks may never go away entirely.
Well, that's depressing.
Well, you like seeing people's faces.
We're going to end on that note? I mean, come on.
Well,
give me something optimistic.
Well,
baseball's back. We can look forward to that. Going to ball games.
I went to a ball game outside, then I went to a Caps game. It was
Did you wear your mask when you were there? You're outside, but you're in a crowded place.
Yeah, and they want you to wear your mask. Now, I went to a Caps game and a Nats game, and I'll tell you, I felt more comfortable outdoors than indoors. I did. In terms of
did you take the mask down to drink the beer and eat the hot dog? Is that?
Well, yeah, and since. Well, you know me, Tom. I was drinking beer most of the time I was there, so it wasn't as big a hardship as it was on me on some of my teetotaling friends.
All right. We will leave it there for this morning. I'm Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of RCP.
And I'm Carl Cannon, Washington Bureau Chief for Real Clear Politics. This has been the RCP Takeaway for Tuesday, May 18th. Join us again Thursday.